You know, when I first got with my partner, like, we had zero. A car that you could hear before you could see.
Zagadat. If I say I did lie, just because I no want show my feelings. Yesterday I no pick your call, all because I no want show my feelings. Your Snapchat, where I delete to, all because I no want show my feelings. Instagram, where I know they follow, all because I no want show my feelings.
Hello, is this on?
Good over there. Oh, it's loud. Hi.
Hello.
Oh, hold on, there's a button.
I'm not professional today. Hi everyone, my name is Nicole and I am the Features and Entertainment Editor of Pride magazine. Yes, we actually have Patricia on the cover this month. By Heart and Hustle, please go and buy that. So we're all here today to celebrate the release of Heart and Hustle, Patricia Bright's very first book. Yeah. It is a brilliant read, and as well as telling her own story, it manages to give some real practical advice for anybody who is looking to kind of go down this road of digital marketing. Influencing is a proper one to sit with your pen or your pencil or an extra notebook if you're extra like me, and just like take all the notes you can, because it's full of all the knowledge.
Yes.
And I just wanted to start off by saying congratulations on the release of a book. This is no small feat at all.
No.
I just wanted to ask, first of all, what was the motivation for writing Heart and Hustle?
I mean, I feel like the process started like 2 years ago. And I don't know how long people have been watching me for, but some of you guys might have known my journey where I was like a city girl. So I used to, you know, come home from work, and I was, you know, a career girl for such a long time. And then I was sharing my horrible boss stories and talking about my career on YouTube. And then obviously people would be like, oh, you've left your job and now you're a YouTuber. And I was like, yeah, this is a thing, you know, people are doing this. So it kind of made me want to write something about it, and that's what I've done.
And what would you say was like the biggest challenge in writing a whole book?
So I'm not a writer. I do videos, I talk a lot. So I think for me, it was like learning to like sit down and actually pull out information. And you know, with YouTube videos, you can kind of edit. There's lots of edits and bits that I cut out and lots of nonsense there that I'm just like, no one needs to see this. But when you're writing, you're almost trying to pull lots more out of you. So I worked with HarperCollins, who are my publisher, who are amazing, and they've got editors and people who really helped me do this. It was kind of a bit like therapy to like really delve into like the backstories. There's a lot of backstories in here that I wouldn't have necessarily thought about sharing, but in the book you kind of end up sharing it for some odd reason.
And what would you say in your book is one of the best pieces of knowledge that you've imparted?
I say this all the time, but I feel like it's this concept of fail fast. I say it's like my mantra. I don't mind trying something, even if I'm going to fail. Like, you know, the book could have failed. I can fail loads of things, but failing fast means that you kind of get over your failures, and then actually when you then succeed, because you tried, you're in a much better position. So fail fast.
Nice.
Yes.
Okay, I think we all want to take a quick journey right back to the start of Patricia Bright's YouTube journey, Britpop Princess.
Yeah. Does anyone remember the Britpop Princess days? If you were there from the beginning, there was also the natural hair going shoulders. I don't know if anyone was there. That was old school.
That's the real OG.
Yes.
So I wanted to quickly just go back to your mind frame then. What was the motivation for kind of doing this thing that barely anyone was doing at the time, making these regular videos and putting them out into the world?
So no one was doing it at the time. Well, there were a few like random people across the world, but it wasn't a thing. And so I was at university and I was just really bored, and I also had some issues with friends. And so I was actually very lonely, and that's how I kind of started on forums. I was on like hair care forums, skincare forums, all that kind of stuff. And then I would talk to all my online friends. I had no friends in real life, but online I had this like community of girls who we shared stuff about. So they would share videos of each other, like, you know, like skincare porn or hair porn. I know that sounds gross, but it was like girls like be like, look at my hair, it's grown so much, or look at my skin, it's like so clear. And it's like, ooh, I used to watch it for hours. And then I wanted to do that, so that's how I started. It was because of the forums, this community of people, and then my social life wasn't doing amazing.
So your social life online was where it was really popping?
Yeah, in my mind, yeah.
And of course, I think when you get to being a YouTuber of your size, there is kind of a moment where you realise, you know what, things are really taking off, this is becoming a thing. Do you remember what that kind of moment was for you?
I mean, I feel like it was when I was trying to balance working. So again, I kind of had a career for like 5 years, and I was doing this on the side in secret, so no one knew, like my bosses didn't know I did this. But then, you know, I was getting opportunities to work and offers, and I was like, oh, maybe I could do this, maybe I could quit my job. And that was about 4 or 5 years into it. And then I kind of just took the leap and left my job. And then, but it's all in the book actually. It's all in the book. But yeah, so I took the leap, then went back, and then came back to another job, then left again. I was doing the most, to be honest, then. But what was the question?
It was when you realised that this was
so it was about 4 or 5 years into it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think something that happens with a lot of people who start YouTube and influencing kind of journeys, somewhere they kind of fall off is when they don't see that instant success, they don't see that instant growth and things like that, and that can be quite disheartening, I think. But obviously you've stuck through it. You didn't get 1 million followers right immediately.
No, not at all.
But what kept you going when you kind of felt, oh, is anybody watching this?
So, I mean, I think when I started, it was different, and I feel like today, like, the opportunity is way bigger than when I started. So when I started, there was 3 years I didn't make a single penny. Like, there was no opportunity to make money. It was just videos that you shared with people. And I did it for 3 years because I enjoyed just having that connection with people. And then obviously, like, business and work came from it. So it was just because I enjoyed creating. It was an outlet. Like, every Saturday, every Sunday, I'd like take off my work uniform and be fabulous and be like, oh, I can like show people this lovely stuff that I like. So it was such an outlet for me.
And there's a line in your book that I quite like, and it's something like, you know, you can be, one Twitter storm can make you public enemy #1. So I was wondering if this kind of intense kind of focus on you has made you change or made you think twice about the things you do put online.
Yes. I mean, I try to keep it really real, and I feel like I'm quite PC. Not that PC, but I try to be unproblematic, just because life's easier like that, you know. But yeah, there is an element of, I was saying this to my friend the other day, that there's kind of groupthink out there, and that if you have an alternative mindset, that people kind of get mad. So I try to not share too much of my alternative mindset, but if you ask me, I'll tell you. I don't mind having personal conversations with people. I'm quite frank, but I understand that the internet, things can always be taken in the wrong way, so I'm cautious.
Right. And no matter how cautious any kind of YouTuber, influencer is, there kind of seems to be a point where you're always going to get some sort of trolling at one point, or some negative comments coming your way. Yeah. How do you best deal with the trolls and the naysayers?
What would I say, like, success is great, you know, if you've got naysayers and people have something bad to say. But for me, I don't hate criticism. I actually learned that sometimes there's even though people are being negative or rude, there might be truth in it. And if you're able to separate the truth to then make yourself better, you're in a way better position. So, I mean, I'll take everything with a pinch of salt and take it graciously. But some people just get digits and blocks because they're annoying. Like, no, be quiet. Fair enough. Yeah.
And I think something that your fans really do love about you is the fact that you aren't afraid to show behind the glam. There is a lot of kind of real content as well, like from your real life. How do you decide what to kind of put on and what to share of your personal life?
I mean, I feel like people watch me for different things. A lot of people watch me for the fashion videos. A lot of people watch me because, you know, they watch me and might get married and on a journey, you know. But I'm going to share lots of stuff. So for me, it's just what feels right. I go through phases. So there's a time where I was like really into showing everything I'm doing every day, and then I got bored of that. And then this season I was really into the fashion videos. And I think a lot of people ask me, why are you doing all these fashion videos? I was actually writing. So because I was so focused on writing stuff that was, you know, about hustle and all that kind of stuff, I just needed to have fun. So YouTube is always an outlet of creativity. I just do what feels right and what people enjoy.
Do you personally have a favourite kind of video to shoot?
Someone's asking. I like doing the talking videos. I love sitting down having a chat. I get really passionate, and there are times where I'd film and I'd be like, oh no, Patricia, you sound angry. Like this is too much. Because sometimes I feel like I'm not telling people off, but I get really serious, and my friends and family will tell you I'm like that with them. So I like having those chats. It feels like I'm like letting my hair down. It feels good. But then I love clothing, so it's a balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, with kind of influencer life, you're a normal girl who's kind of put into a very extraordinary situation. Suddenly, millions of people around the world know your face and know your husband's name and everything like that. I was wondering what it feels like to be a role model to so many women and girls around the world, and especially to so many black women and girls.
Yeah. It feels weird, but I don't feel like I'm a role model. I feel like I'm just living life, and also providing other people who see me with this idea that if I can do it, you can do it. I think I write that in the book, like every time. There is nothing special, not in a horrible way, there's nothing special about me or that makes me unique, other than the fact that I fell fast and that I just try. Like, I'm not the prettiest, I'm not the most talented, I'm not the best makeup artist, I'm not the most fashionable. I'm just, you know, in the middle doing me, but yet people connect with that. And I think that's most of us, you know. We're 7 to 10s, no, we're 12s actually, let's be real. We're 12s. And I think that is what people connect with. So as long as I continue to be that, because I am myself, then hopefully it provides someone who feels like they're just average the idea that they can do whatever they want to do.
Brilliant. And quickly, who would you say that this book is for?
So it's for the girl who maybe feels like they're starting from the bottom, but kind of knows that there's something out there, and that if they can equip themselves, they can make it to the top, as Drake would say, you know? So for me, I feel like I share my story from the very beginning, and, you know, I've been down here to quote unquote what people think is up here, and I want to show that in between. And also I think that even if you want to be a social media influencer or not, or you want to start something, or you want to be a career person, everybody needs to learn how to use social media, because it's the future for all forms of marketing. If you've got a product, a service, anything, you need this book.
Amazing. So we're going to open up the floor to questions in just a little bit, but first, these tickets sold out so incredibly quickly. There are so many people who sent in some questions for you who couldn't be here, so we can start with one of those, I think. So one of your followers asked, I found success to be a two-part formula, having confidence in your abilities and making others believe you are capable. I've had issues with the latter. I go to a top law school, have a high grade, and have just achieved a job at one of the top firms. However, I feel in professional environments, nobody takes me seriously. How do you get people to take you seriously?
Oh, this is a really good question. And a scenario that I dealt with myself, you know, investment banking, worked at Merrill Lynch, graduate program, got into my job, and I felt like I was useless. I think this person, maybe if they've just started, you know, there's maybe lack of experience, or they're still early and they haven't learned how to be more confident. I was not confident when I first started my career. One, because I just didn't know what I was doing, but I didn't know how to speak up. So I think there's an element of being louder. I had this conversation with someone. I don't know, well, yeah, there's an element of just speaking up a bit more, I think. And yeah, you do have to kind of prove yourself to people that you know what you're doing. And the thing that I find in the corporate world is that a lot of people just talk. They don't know anything. I used to go to meetings and the guys, and there might be any guys in here. I love guys, you lot are amazing as well, you know. But I'd see them, you know, we would sit back, like lots of me and the other women would kind of sit back, and the guys would be, it's like a bravado thing. They'd be like asking this random question, and we're all like, why are you asking that question? But they got a lot of respect because they presented themselves as, using their voice, they presented themselves like they knew it. So we got to do that.
Nice. I'll ask a second one from the fans at home. Do you have any advice on approaching dating and finding like-minded people when our generation's hookup culture doesn't really appeal?
Listen, I've been off the dating scene for like 11 years. I don't know what I would do in 2019. Like, what? So I have a few friends who are currently dealing with singleness, and for me, the thing that it's not a bad thing. For me, I've just seen them waste time. So I'm impatient. When I see the guy is not serious, goodbye. I'm tired. We're not going to have a conversation. Like, when I don't mind, be late once, be late twice. Wow, this is we're not here. And I think as well, it's seeing where they stand from a moral perspective, because I think there's guys who will show you, oh, I've got this, I've got that, but your heart is just black. Like, no, you need to really look for people for who they are on the inside. I think that's the most valuable thing. I know we like good-looking guys. I mean, I like good-looking guys as well. My husband is good-looking, but like, just so you know. But there's more, you know. I'm going to share the story, like, in my book as well, that, you know, when I first got with my partner, like, we had zero. A car that you could hear before you could see. The window, you had to use your hand to lift the window up. The rain would come in. But we knew that we were going to grow together. And I think some of us, we need to look for those guys who we can grow together with. But if you're now 32 and he's still acting 22, no. You need to look in the 40s. Nice.
Aim high, girls. Okay, I think this is a good time to kind of open up the floor to some questions. So if anybody has anything burning to ask. I see one hand there.
There's a real problem with graduates at the moment who want to get the job that they want, but they need to have the experience